In this video, I'm not gonna bother with filters today. You get what you get. Okay, so I'm gonna show you skeptic side, and it involves dowsing rods. No, you cannot have one. Can I do anything in life without you? Not that I would ever want to. Anyway, let me finish it, and then you can have them. How about that? Okay, thank you. So, this is the side of me. I'm not done. A different side of me that I don't always show. You think I'm all hocus pocus, that I believe everything that is thrown my way. Like this pillow. I'm not vibing with this pillow. This is bullshit. Sorry, I'm really irritable today. Can you not? Or I will take those scissors.
No!
You want to talk about taking people's shit? Anyway, can you quit hogging my heater, cat? Can you quit hogging my... Okay, so anyway, these are called dowsing rods. And this is where I draw the line. Okay, this is where I draw the line. Oliver! I don't know. Now these bad boys are made out of copper. They spin on this little cylinder and free balls it, right? And these guys have been used throughout centuries to find water, electricity, gold, treasure. There's a lot of truth to it. I'm not a big skeptic. It's not like I'm a big denier. When it comes to yes or no answers, that's where I draw the line with this one. And I'm going to explain to you why in this video if I can get it out. It's one of those days where there's going to be a lot of innuendos, and I apologize in advance. I'm a sexual beast, so some days I just can't avoid it. So it just slips up, and today's one of those days. Okay, so again, the best ones apparently are copper. I don't know why. I think it's debatable. Aluminum is another one. I will let you have them when I am done. Here is your birth control for the day, ladies. Okay, so again, to each their own. But aluminum, copper, those are the two main ones. But people have had the best luck, success, especially with finding water with the copper ones. But mainly, the thing is, it has to have this tube here that it freely spins. That's the key. And you cannot block it down here, right? It has to freely spin on the top and on the bottom. So you cannot hold it here, or it won't spin. See my point? You can hold it like this, right? You can make sure they don't touch each other like this, because that's bad. You can hold it like this. James. The point is, obviously they're effective based on movement is my thing, right? So they're saying they're going to be moving a lot when you first get them. Maybe you won't find me in here. Okay, so the key is you stay level, right? That's the key. So they say to tuck your thingamajiggers in here to stay steady yourself. I've watched like 50 fucking videos on this shit, okay? I tried to become a believer for months, if not years. I just can't do it. I'm gonna explain. Trust me, I'm getting to it. I'm teaching you the basics so you could choose for yourself. Or you could Google people that are actually, better at explaining things. But, okay, so you wanna tuck your arms in to steady yourself while you're making sure you're not closing up the top or the bottom. But this is the catcher. There's no possible way you're for sure perpendicular or completely direct. Like, what do you call it? A complete 190 or 90 degree, like top to bottom, north and south. Like, there's no guarantee.
I may be an idiot, but I'm not stupid.
This is completely direct, 100%. There's no guarantee, right? There's no scientific confirmation on that. There's no scientific evidence, right? So that's already out the window, but so is everything under the sun. So I'm not looking for that, but that is, you got to understand that first and foremost. There's no way that you're going to keep these level, just so you know. So make sure you understand that first. So you're going to be moving, but you can try to keep these straight, and they're going to get straight eventually, just like these are straight. And they will say that your energies are calm, they're aligned, you're good. If they're pointing straight, Jesus, Mother of God!
I'm teaching
I don't know. They did spaz out.
Mama.
I might be a believer. All right, back to seriousness here. Okay, so my whole point is we all have biases, okay? And my point is you cannot tell me that our biases does not in some way translate down to our muscles in our hands. We have a shit ton of them, right? The majority of our muscles and nerves and everything go into our hands that we have in our palm. You can't tell me that we do not let our muscles manipulate answers accordingly when no one can tell, not even ourselves. You can't tell me that. And my thing is, there's not a single person on YouTube that I have seen talk about this being something that is a possibility. And I'm all about honesty. You know that. I talk about spirituality, and there's nothing that I will jump on board with 100% unless I am sold on it. I'm a spiritualist, I'm a priestess, but it's because I have actually witnessed something powerful in my life. Just because something's popular does not mean I'm going to stand behind it. I'll be the first to admit that, 100%. Because honestly, I've seen these people on YouTube, and I've watched a lot of YouTubes. These are the things that they'll use these things in question for. Let's do our chakra measurements with their client. For example, let's measure my chakra, my third eye. Here's an example of biases that we might not have full control over. Divine, holy power. Measure my head chakra, third eye chakra. Holy shit, of course. Measure my client's third eye chakra. We can work on that. That'll be $50. Let's work our way down, shall we? Let's measure some other things. 10, I call bullshit. Divine, let's say, 10 inches, is that a yes or no? It's hilarious. Biases are gonna sneak in, and you can't tell me otherwise. I'm honest enough to admit that there's a high possibility that my yeses and nos are gonna be influenced by my biases. That I'm not going to secretly want to slightly move the thousands and thousands of muscles and nerves that I have in my hands and get these things manipulated to do the yeses and the nos or the maybes or the maybe so's, that I can get this thing to do conveniently however I want it to do without you guys seeing me. There's a slight possibility I'll want it to do that. And I'm honest and humble enough to admit that. And I wish I saw other people talk about that being a possibility. And because of that, I won't take a chance, especially with my clients, and especially in my spiritual practice. I just can't. Especially as an Aries, especially as a full-blooded Aries, there's a high possibility. I am humble enough to know that the arrogance and my ego that we're all gonna have, it's self-preservation. Especially as a mom, when you have young children, you definitely still have it. You typically don't die of your ego. You cannot really kill your ego until your children are grown. And you really don't graduate from that spiritually until that is, your children are grown and you're at that stage when you're much older. For another video. But it's a self-preservation. It's there to protect you. It's there to get you to think. It's there to keep you on your toes. But it also keeps me realistic. It keeps me understanding that not everything is true and to filter the BS. And I'm not saying these things might not be great for finding water and electricity and other things, and it might not, it might work for a lot of other people. It might have a lot of truth to them. But I don't want to take a chance. Because in my spiritual walk, I'm all about accuracy as much as possible. Especially when you're messing with spirits, the divine, when you're messing with things that are very powerful, I take that very serious. Especially with medicinal plants like kratom and ashwagandha and all of these things that are very powerful and meant as medicine to our bodies. Mushrooms, shrooms, psychedelics, all of these things have a lot of power, and there's a lot of stupid, ignorant people that mess with things without showing it the respect and caution as they should. Same thing applies with every other practice under the sun. Be smart about it, question it, research it, and don't just dive deep and believe in it because other people tell you to. Again, I can do these things, I can tell these things to say and do what I want without you knowing that I'm slightly moving my hands. There's no possible way to prove otherwise because of the muscles in my hands. Your hands have all the majority of muscles and nerves. All I have to do is barely move and you would not notice. My yeses, my no's, you would not know. You would be none the wiser. And I can't be abrupt with it. There are some people that can. Now, I'm not saying, again, that there are moments where the divine can't really speak through it. My point is, there's just too many uncertainty. It's not stable. And if you are a true spiritualist, you know when you work with anything that's unstable, it's dangerous. Or it's not accurate. It's not smart. One thing I'll say in closing is because I come from some Christian roots in my belief system, dowsing rods, anything that seeks answers and takes away the need for faith, the need for believing and waiting on God and the divine. Utilizing it too much is never a good thing. It's never healthy, right? That's when you get into the weeds of divination not being really something God likes too much of, right? So faith, manifesting, believing, having patience, waiting on the divine is all things that is preferred. So I don't think there's anything wrong with dowsing rods. I think there's a lot of truth to many of it. I just don't think it's for everybody. I think a lot of people do probably most likely get their ego involved. They just can't help it, and I will be the first to admit it. I'll just tell you straight up. It's right there. I just showed you how it's easily something you can do. There's just so many muscles in that you just can't even tell you're doing it. But that being said, having faith, that's just the most powerful magic you can possibly have, is believing that you can have something and believing it's meant to be yours based on your good choices, good karma. April's the month. Saturn delivers what is due, good and bad. I am already seeing it played out for some people that really deserve some bad karma, and I am loving it. I was worried I wasn't gonna get some front row seat to some of the shit, but you know what? It's glorious. That's the way it works. So, wanted to end with those 2 cents. Faith is always going to be my go-to, but there's nothing wrong with some extra tarot, dowsing rod, yes or no possibilities to sweeten the little experience. Don't come at me, alright? Just sharing my knowledge. Jesus.